Hi, my name's Emily Vale and I'm the sales manager with Starcrest Realty in the Dallas area. And we are a HUD listing broker and do a lot of HUD transactions. And I want to show you something today that is a really neat backdoor option in HUDHomestore that I really think will help you in smarter bidding on HUD properties. Now, we all know that in this low inventory market that we're in right now in July of 2013, that it is a little bit more difficult than it's been in the past to get properties under contract. We've got a lot of multiple offer situations, a lot of scenarios where there's many bidders on the same property, and of course with HUD properties they are blind bidding, so we don't have any idea what's going on a lot of times with these and why we missed out on a particular property or another, and that makes it difficult to advise our clients properly. So what I want to show you is a way that you can get ahead of that a little bit and make some smarter choices and be able to advise your clients a little better. When you are logged into HUDHomestore and you're on the home screen, which is where we are right now, up on the menu bar at the top right hand corner there is a link called Bid Results. I'm going to click on that, take you over to that screen, and what we have here is just a real simple search feature that allows you to search bid results. Now, one thing I want to tell you before we take a look at this, and it tells you this up in this area right here where it says bid results. Accepted bids are displayed for 14 days after the property has gone under contract. After the 14-day period, bid acceptance information for the property will no longer be displayed. Well, I know something I hear a lot from agents is the frustration of not being able to see anything about the property once it's gone under contract. They say, I've gone back into HUDHomestore, I put in my property case number and I hit search and it came up with nothing. That's because the property's gone pending, and once that occurs, from certain areas of HUDHomestore that property disappears. You're no longer able to pull it up and pull all of the addendums and just the things that you were able to when the bidding was open. However, what you can see is this back end piece that shows you the actual bid that was awarded. Now that's great information if you were a bidder and didn't get that property. So let me show you how to do this. A couple of different ways that we can use this tool. One is I placed a bid on a property, or maybe I didn't, and I just still want to see what it went under contract for. I know what the case number is, so I'm just going to type that in. Right here, I don't even have to select the state. I can just put the property case number in and search. Now, it's going to bring up that particular property for me, and the information it's going to give me here is, of course, I can scrub this and make sure that I'm looking at the right property and didn't type this in wrong by having the property address here. And it's going to give me a couple of awesome pieces of information. One, it's going to tell me, yes, this was sold to an owner-occupant. And right here, this is the net to HUD. Now, do keep in mind that this doesn't mean that the sales price that was offered was $84,000. What this means is that the net to HUD was $84,000. So coming off of that net, or off of the sales price to create the net to HUD, is the commissions on both sides, as well as any closing cost concessions that were requested. Now, of course, we know that the commissions on either side were 3%, so it's for a total of 6%, but we can't know by looking at this whether there were closing cost concessions involved or not. So we're going to have to make a few assumptions here, but it gives you a ballpark idea of what that bid was, and more importantly, it tells you exactly what the net to HUD was. And when you're bidding on HUD properties, the most important piece of information is what that net to HUD was. So let's say that this property, for example, may have been listed at $84,000. Exactly what we have here is the net to HUD. What that means is that this bidder put in a bid enough on this property to actually go over that list price and then net down to that list price number. So they would have had to have bid a minimum of about $90,000 to net to HUD, depending on the closing costs concessions. So a lot of times we're finding that these are actually going over list price, and sometimes quite a bit. I'm hearing that a lot from my agents. One interesting thing also that you can do with this that's really cool is if I'm wanting to be proactive and not just come in behind the scenes and see what a particular property sold for, I can also utilize it a little bit more of an open way. Let me take this information out right here. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to choose state, Texas, and I'm going to choose city, Plano. Let's say I'm about to place a bid on a HUD property in Plano, and I kind of want to get an idea of what things have been selling for in the area. Of course, I can search in MLS and get that information, but in particular, I'm interested in HUD properties because what I'm bidding on is a HUD, and I know that they tend to maybe be a little bit undervalued. So I want to see what's been going on with awarding bids to HUD properties, particularly in the city of Plano. So I'm going to search, and I'm going to get a list of the latest properties that have been awarded in the Plano area through HUDHomestore. And I can see here that I've got the date the bid was submitted, the date it was open, and the date it was accepted. So you can see that represents about a 2-week period because today is actually July the 3rd. So these properties are probably about to, at least minimally this one, about to disappear from this list and not be available anymore, because as you can see up here, it does state that after 14 days they won't be displayed anymore. And they do go up about 5 days after, approximately, it does vary, but approximately 5 days after the bid is awarded, you get this displayed, and then after 14 additional days, then they would disappear from this list. So you do have to quick strike and really get in here and look at the right time in order to get this information. So what I'm seeing here is these particular property case numbers, these addresses. This is who the broker is that got each of these properties under contract, the type of purchaser, and right here, again, most important, net to HUD. So what I can do now is I'm going to take this information, I'm probably just going to print it out, and I'm going to go over into MLS, and I'm going to pull up these property addresses in MLS, and I'm going to see what those list prices were. And the reason I'm looking in MLS is because I'm not able to get that information through HUDHomestore anymore. So I'm going to pull this up, look at MLS, and I'm going to cross-check all this with the net to HUD to get an idea of where they were bidding in reference to the list price. So if I pull this one up, for example, on Jupiter Road, and I find out that the list price was $65,000. and the net to HUD was $69,560. Well, what that tells me is that the bid on this was probably up towards $75,000, and that represents a $10,000 jump over the list price. So now I know, hey, properties in this area are going to go way over list, and I can then advise my client as such. Same thing with the other properties. So this gives you a good idea of where things are going, if you need to go over list, how far, and if there's a property that's really important to your client, you're able to advise them from a little higher level with a little bit more information. So I hope this has been helpful to you, and keep your eyes open because we will have many more videos with tips and tricks on our Starcrest Realty YouTube site. Have a great day.